Death. That was what Major Nidal Hasan dealt with 13 people at Fort Hood in 2009. And now 4 years later, 13 jurors dealt him the same thing at the same place.
KXAN's Chris Sadeghi is live at Fort Hood, where a death sentence was handed down earlier this afternoon. Chris.
Michael Cahill was killed in the Fort Hood attack. His family today said that the House of Grief is a large house with a lot of rooms. However, today they get to shut the door to at least one of those rooms. This case met the criteria needed to put a killer to death. That was never a question, but there was a popular opinion that sentencing Hasan to death would grant him his wish of being a martyr. In closing arguments, the prosecution attacked that notion hard. They told the jury Hasan is not, nor will he ever be a martyr. He is a criminal and a cold-blooded murderer, and said he is not giving his life for a cause. Rather, they're taking it from him for what he did. Don't punish him for his religion, but punish him for his hate. That was their message. When the verdict was returned, that's exactly what the jury did. Hasan, who chose not to make a closing statement, showed no emotion when the verdict was read, and families in the courtroom shed a few tears, and then they took to the podium to talk about the end of this trial and this chapter.
Nidal Hasan is a coward and an unrepentant murderer.
Today, a weight has been lifted off of my shoulder. He has been held accountable for his actions, and the panel gave him justice.
The last 3.5 years have been long and difficult. And although this court-martial is over, our lives have changed forever. The House of Grief is a very large house, and there's a lot of rooms in there.
Today's sentencing does not bring my father home, his laughter to our ears, and his smile to our eyes. But justice does not end here.
And it could still be several more years before Hasan is put to death, because there is a lengthy appeals process. But within the next couple of days, we suspect for the first time since the attack, he will be taken out of Central Texas to Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, and death row. Robert, back to you.
And Chris, of course, you've been there all week long. What was the mood like on post after the decision this afternoon?
I think a lot of people were expecting this to happen. It was a 17-day-long trial, and there's a sense of relief now that this is done, no delays, that it is over. And the families had a challenge, many of them, to Congress and also the American people, not to glorify murders. Don't put them on magazines, but remember the heroes, especially the one that gave their lives and the ones that saved others in this attack.
Thank you so much. Despite today's verdict, Hasan's case not finished yet. Here's a closer look at the process. All death sentences get an automatic appeal to the Army Court of Criminal Appeals. After that, there's another automatic appeal. It goes to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Armed Forces. Also, all military death sentences must be confirmed by the president before an execution. It's been 52 years since the military last executed a service member.